Hi, hi. It's nice and rainy today. I hung up some of my laundry, and most of it I was able to hang like under a tarp, and then some of it got wet, but it wasn't a lot. It was just like a few pants, a few shirts, maybe a couple socks, but it's totally fine. Most of the clothes was dry, and I already put it away, folded. Feels good. And then as I was outside, I was getting myself a bite to eat, and in the backyard here, there's a grape tree. And when I was standing out there, the wind kind of blew, and I didn't expect it. I'd never experienced that before, and it blew the scent of the grapes right into my nose, and I was like, "Oh man, this is holy hell!" And I'm living with a friend right now and their family, and the mother noticed. I looked at her and I was like, "Oh, it smells good," and she was like, "Do you want to?" Do you want to pick some grapes? And I was like, hell yeah. And I was like one neuron away from like remembering what the hell that's called. I was like, what is that? What is that? The thing, like where all the grapes grow, the individual. And I had to look it up, and it's literally just bunch. It's literally just a bunch of grapes. A bunch. I felt so slow. I was like, what is that? What is that called? I thought it had some like pretty special word for it. Because you know how certain things be having like cute random words that would have never occurred to you. And then when I saw bunch, I was like, okay. I don't know. It made me smile, and it made me happy because I was like deep in it, like in like deeper in dream interpretation at the time. And that's when I heard it, my friend's mother call out, and she was like, "Hey, I got a little, a little food for you." And this when we were standing out there, and she was like, "I think it's gonna rain again." And I like kind of walked around her, and started looking around, looked at the sky, and it was like really nebulous in certain spots. Really pretty though, really beautiful. Like the clouds here come in like they come big. Like there's it's rarely do I ever see like wisps of clouds. Like the ones here, like they are pregnant. There's a lot of them, and anyway, yeah, that just it made me feel better. I was like, look at that, just kind of something from the outside world. It kind of snapped me back into my body, and it felt good, as because I love doing laundry. I actually really like laundry. What I hate is mopping and cleaning the bathroom. Absolutely hate it. Hate it. Because there's always like calculations that I have to do when I'm mopping. I'm like, all right, I got to put the bucket over here. It is not rocket science, but I like that's just how my brain be sometimes. I don't know if it's the ADHD or however you want to label it, but like I really be making it like an event for myself. I'm like, all right, I got to put the bucket here because then I got to go back to the bucket, but then I got to position it in a way where I'm not stepping over the spot that I already mopped. So sometimes I got to be moving the shit. I don't know why it's such a hard thing for me. It's almost like doing math. I don't get it. So I hate mopping, and then of course I hate the bathroom because I'm a priss. I never really liked. I hate the toilet. I hate the smell. I hate cleaning shit particles. I absolutely hate it. I'd be going in there with like gloves, everything, mask. If I had booties, I would put them on, but I don't have them on right now. So I, girl, but dishes, I love doing. Love wiping down surfaces. Sweeping, I absolutely love. I love the dry part of like you know, cleaning like floors or whatever. Why am I talking about this? I don't know why. I don't know. You'll know why maybe. I don't know. But so yeah, doing laundry. Loved. I think I just love doing like repetitive things. It lands really well in my body. I've noticed, and I'm a big believer of the body keeps the score. Most things in our life are really somatic, and doing laundry for me, I noticed that it like I tend to more consciously pay attention to my breathing, and I did during like I was taking off the clothes from the pins, and I kept noticing like almost naturally like something in me kept going return to the breath, return to the breath, return to the breath. I was like, bet I like this. I'm like, I like what's happening inside me right now. Like my tummy's relaxing. Something naturally in me is like just reminding me to pay attention to this ankh flow, like in me. I don't know. Um, and I didn't have the best like past couple days. I was like really down or like it's kind of mean to myself, and um, I got a little triggered, and so then I decided to like add on to that and be even meaner to myself. But then I was like, all right, all right, bitch, that's over. Get up. Because no, we're not gonna do this again. Yeah, you're like the meanest one to yourself, and you know that. You don't need. This is not necessary. It just like something inside. Like I'm reaching these moments where I'm being able to catch myself quicker and quicker and be like, well, let's pause for a second. Let's reframe, you know, um, and regulate a little bit if we can. Five things you can see, four things you can touch, three things you can hear, two things you can smell, one thing you can take, whatever. And so there's this there's a person who it reminded me that I'm still a little fragile right now. Um, Not fragile, but I still have quite a few things, I guess, left to integrate. And I have a lot of religious trauma. There was a religious person who commented on my videos, or on one of my videos at least. And it was interesting because in the comment section where we initially began our interaction, he said that I was basically like a walking red flag. And he said this in the comments. He said, "Yeah, definitely." He's like, I went to your channel, and absolutely, you are definitely a person who allows herself to be ruled by her emotions, and emotions lie to us all the time." And like, he did a lot of like mixing biology with like morality and religiousness. It was very confusing, and I simply was trying to tell him, "Hey, man, like this is kind of dangerous. The way that you kind of project these beliefs. And you might end up, not getting the relationship, that you're describing. The one that you're looking for, the one that you deserve. And it's simply because you're not willing to stay long enough in a conversation once it gets uncomfortable or once somebody gets emotional. And I try to tell him I think there's a way for us to debate and to also have emotional truth land in what we're talking about. Maybe I did look for it. Maybe I didn't ask him enough questions. I don't know. But I found it interesting that, in the comments, it was you're a walking red flag. And then suddenly on my videos, it was, you might not feel like you're significant, but God loves you, and that's the only way. And voodoo might make you feel good, but essentially in the end, it's evil, and there's only one way to turn. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, you see, I know what I'm dealing with here. This doesn't feel good. This don't feel right to me. And for the first time, I allowed myself to say it, but not directly like to that person, because I was like, I ended the interaction short. Like in the comment section, I ended it, and I was like, you know what? As soon as you start making assumptions about me, that's when it's and it's not just assumptions. It was like saying things like, oh, you're probably responding this way because you've done things. And I was like, this feels so insensitive because not at any point did this person ask, what have you been through? What have people done to you? What's your experience with, religion? There was no curiosity. It was straight just shame. And shame doesn't help people grow. Shame freezes the nervous system. Compassion, compassion keeps the nervous system adaptive. And I was like, for the first time, I allowed myself to go, no, no, God damn it. This is wrong. You are making me feel wrong. My body feels wrong as you're speaking to me. So it wasn't so much like that. At first I wanted to focus on the person. Oh my God, my trauma. I feel upset. I'm triggered. What if I really did push him? What if I really was emotional? And I'm like, this person is not asking any of that. I ended the interaction and he chose to then impose to go to my videos, continue the interaction, keep commenting, like spamming. And I was like, okay. You know what? I think I need to internally let myself say no. There was a time when I had this ex, also very a religious person. I would sometimes have episodes, panic attacks, and he said it was demons. And here he would tell me, you have the spirit of Jezebel inside you. Or I would like, and then when he would start saying that, I would freak out even more. And I'd be like, can you fucking stop? I'm like, oh my God. And he would start doing the sign of the cross. And that would make me lose it even more. And he'd be like, you see, that's the devil. And I'm like, you're erasing me entirely. You're not even listening to me. This is so destabilizing. And that's how it started to feel with this person. Even just on, and I'm so happy that I had the distance at least to experience this, to process this, to practice this. And I was like, you know what? No, because he was so it with that ex partner. He then had me call his aunt, or had an aunt call us and pray over us, and they made me say out loud, I surrender, I give myself to the Lord, I'm a this and that, and like making me repeat it out loud. And I was like, I don't like this. It's not that I don't like God. I'm like, I don't like that right now. I need someone to tend to my emotions. I need to tend to my body. And what I'm being told is you're doing your pain wrong. Go to God. And I was like, oh Jesus, this feels like a violation. This is awful. This is a terrible fucking feeling. Really activating. Um and I felt small in that moment, like repeating it. I felt like I didn't want to repeat it, but I felt like I had to. And the way that I abandoned myself in that moment was so it still sits with me. But then this happened, and I was like, no, no, because again, how interesting that first you label me, you're not curious, and then you go to my videos and start saying you're significant. And I'm like, wait, so what are we doing here? Am I a walking red flag? or or you're trying, and it's like like, I don't need you to tell me that I'm significant. There are days where I feel deeply insignificant. And here's the thing, this is why I didn't argue with this person, because those are the kind of people that take this kind of vulnerability and then they twist it, and then they make you feel fucking crazy for it. But I'll tell y'all, there are days where I feel absolutely insignificant, and there are days that I feel incredibly significant. And I'm like, you know what? I am nature that became conscious, and I'm remembering myself. I've talked about this before in other videos. So it's never that I'm against God. Don't like, it's not that I don't love God, that I don't believe in God. I still read the Bible. But I think what pissed this person off was that I'm talking about the Baron and I'm talking about the Bible at the same time. So I'm like, I don't believe in just one thing. Well, what you mean you believe in a bunch of things? What you mean? What do I mean that I believe in a bunch of things? I believe in everything. If that's too big for your mind to comprehend, that's not my motherfucking fault. Like, fuck is you going on about? If you don't get it, then just, you don't have to do something about it. But like, it's these type of religious people that feel like, I feel like you're doing something wrong. So I feel like now I need to do something about it. I need to interject my fucking energy and put my foot into your motherfucking nervous system. No, no. Walking red flag. I'm not just red flags, bitch. I'm a rainbow. Red. You missed me with that. You missed the yellow, the purple, the blue, the green, the orange. Roy G. Biv, girl. You only got the red. Where's the pink? Where's the maroon? No, bitch. I am the whole spectrum. You motherfucking right, I got some red. I got red flags, I got blue ones. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, and by the way, I'll say it again. God did tell me that he loves my ugly. Mm-hmm. Maybe he don't tell you that he loves your ugly. Maybe your God tells you, go tell other people that they're ugly. Because you don't know how to face your own ugly. And by the way, your ugly is still beautiful. It really is. The God that I know, the God that I talk to, that's what he says. That's what she says. That's what they say. I don't know. Like I said, God could be a fairy for all I know, or a star. Who gives a damn? I don't care. I don't care in what form. All I know is that when I see a synchronicity or I see something, or I'm sitting here talking to myself, whether it's on camera or alone or writing, I'm like, I know I'm talking to God. I'm talking to something else. When I tune out, I tune in. Hmm? And I decided, kind of irresponsibly, to test this person, to tune in and be like, you know what? I kind of want to challenge a little bit what they said, but I want to do it with respect. You know what I mean? Like, I knew what I could say. I knew the names that I could call him, but I chose to do something else. And he took that and actually said, you're being manipulative. You're trying to be nice right now, and it's coming across as really passive aggressive. And I was like, I can see that. I can see how somebody like you would read it that way, but anybody else would read it as probably restraint, as someone in real time trying to process and regulate herself at the same time and understand somebody else and be like, hey, I feel like the way you presented your belief, which is not entirely wrong, actually, we can expand on your original belief, but in a grounded way, which is what I was trying to say. And they were like, negative, negatory. And they even misunderstood at some point when I was like, hey, I'm not trying to attack you. And they were like, I'm not attacking. And I was like, I didn't say you were attacking. I was saying, I'm not attacking you. Okay, you know what? I was like, yeah, this is, why did I do this? Why did I do this, man? I was like, this was such a bad idea. But at the same time, it wasn't, because I'm learning how to exit sooner. I'm finally learning how to exit certain interactions a little bit sooner. Because here's the thing, we are going to get roped in sometimes. It happens. That's life. But I'm learning when to leave when I can. When to pull back, look down, somehow mobilize, move my body, take a step outside, because I don't know, like, and it's that my emotions don't lie. Your body doesn't lie. People can lie. People don't even always intentionally like lie, if you know what I mean. Sometimes people just be denying shit. And then when they say it out loud, what they're denying, it be sounding like, oh, you lying to me. And it's like, no, they're lying to themselves. They're denying something in their reality. right? But like emotions don't lie, because if your heart rate picks up around somebody, or you start sweating around someone, or your stomach churns, or you get headaches or tremors, right? Or you feel lightheaded, that is the truth. That is not the universal truth, but that is your truth. It is your map. It doesn't mean necessarily anything about the other person. You don't have to define the other person always, or pathologize them or psychoanalyze or any of that. I mean, you can. It might help a little, depending on what kind of brain you personality that you have, for sure. But at the end of the day, you don't have to do all that. All you need to do is pay attention to what your body's saying. And a lot of people are still going to take that like it's like they're offended. Like, it's just simply, right now, I'm not rocking with you. I don't feel good around you. But I'm not trying to make you feel bad about it. That's why I picked up my motherfucking body and went outside or went into a different room. Because I'm not here to argue or explain it or ask for permission. Can I be away from you? You feel me? And there's a lot of layers to this. So yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I'm really really charged, and and I know that a lot of people sometimes can't handle that. They don't always understand me, and that's okay, because I'm also the kind of person that, like, I process my thoughts like in real time, and I track things, I track patterns, I track movement in real time. And sometimes that makes me sound like I'm talking in circles, or like I veer off and I like tell a story, but then I kind of circle back, or sometimes I get kind of lost in what I'm saying, and then I'm like, wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, okay, well, or sometimes I'll be like, I could drop that thread and then just kind of continue. But that's just the way my brain is wired, the way my body's I am just process in real time. And a lot of people, they're going to misunderstand a brain like that, because a lot of people don't have the attention span. You know what I mean? Like, they don't, they a lot of us are not trained like on how to listen to somebody who's processing in real time. A lot of the times, a lot of people, the way they work is that they'll bring to you what they think is their conclusion, if that makes sense. Like, if they're feeling something, they're not going to try to like talk it out with you. So some people are like that. They're not going to like talk it out. They don't even really talk it out, like, with themselves. They'll just kind of bring to you like a conclusion, and then it just kind of feels like they're dumping on you emotionally, because they haven't processed anything. They're just sort of throwing this unprocessed opinion or criticism at you, or about themselves. And so it's like, and like now, like the way that I kind of take pauses, or because I'm still processing, I'm still generating something, still generating a feeling, a thought. But like a lot of the times I've encountered people that, like, once I pause like this, they have another narrative running in the background. So as soon as that silence hits, like in the middle of me explaining something, they got a whole other thing going on. And sometimes it's not consciously words, like a conscious narrative. Sometimes it's because first, it don't like things don't come to us first in words. They come to us as like feelings. But our bodies work so fast that it's like, okay, feeling, thought, and then the thought. Like, so it's like sometimes it feels like it's happening all at once, but there's usually one happening first, and it's usually a feeling. Something hits the body, right? And then the mind is the translator, kind of, I guess. And then it kind of becomes a thought. And then for some people, it becomes just like a conclusion. And I don't know, like there've been people where they cut me off, or they say, like, I don't know, you've said like 16 things all at once, because I speak in a really layered way too, but at the same time, I'm not always articulate. Sometimes my brain works faster than my mouth, and it's not always that I don't have the words. I'm trying to brain, body, spirit. They're all trying to catch up to each other. So yeah, I'm an incredibly emotional person, and I'm also incredibly reactive. Um, and that is because of what I've been through. Absolutely. And that's not an excuse either, but it's also but I do have to give myself context and compassion. Somebody has to. because nobody else is going to, clearly. So I gotta do it myself. But I was the judge and the bully in me for too long. I listened to the motherfuckers for too long. I already tried to do it the way my bully tried to make me do it. The bully in here, up here. And I already tried to do it the way other bullies out here tried to make me do it. Let's try compassion for once, bitch. Let's slow the fuck down. Okay? Like, you know? I don't know. You have to talk to yourself. You have to. You have to you have to. You have to cry. You got to talk to yourself. So many times people, like, I've encountered people where they're like, you can talk to yourself as long as you don't talk back. You don't answer. You're like, then what the fuck is talking to yourself? But answering back. I feel like I've talked about this before. Like, what you mean don't answer back? So then what is talking then? Answering back. Absolutely talk to yourself and pay attention to the way that you do. Once you start talking to yourself out loud, that's how you can start to realize the way you've actually been treating yourself internally. Say it out loud. And it's going to be scary because sometimes the thing that you say out loud is you're an ugly bitch. You're a cunt. You're fugly. You're a loser. You're never going to make it. And you don't have to be scared of those voices. Those are mostly just ghosts spilling out of you. All you look at it, you hear it, you go, I acknowledged you, I hear you, I heard you. But you know what? Why don't we try something else? I'm gonna take what you said, right? I'm not ignoring it. Okay, so we're a loser. Okay. All right. Let's take that. Why don't we play around with it? I want to include you in this. I want you to participate with me. Tell the voice, okay, if we're a loser, I hear you, but also I have things to say too. I also have things to say. I also have thoughts. And if we're going to coexist, you're going to have to respect that. Okay? So, we're going to play around with words for a little bit and then we're going to figure out a moot point. Like how do we how do we take how do we put a little flavor on it? You know what I mean? How do we wake this up? This statement that I'm a loser. Okay? Maybe it can start as simple as I feel like a loser. Okay? That way, we still left the word loser in there for you. If you want it, that word in there still, we still got the word loser. I'm not going to negotiate that. But why don't we tweak it a little bit? Let's say we feel like one. That softens it a little bit for sure. You know what I mean? Start there. Start redefining what words mean to you also. I'll tell you a little something. This is how my brain works. It's really weird, but just stay with me. You know how when you look into a dictionary and you're looking at the many different words, some words are just a noun, some words are a noun and a verb. Some words are a noun, a verb, and an adjective. Right? So then there's different definitions for each word, for each one word. Multiple definitions, contexts, right? So whenever someone's speaking, another nervous system in front of me, that's how I'm able to kind of recognize patterns really well or listen to them in a different way because I'm like, okay, I'm reading the nervous system and at the same time, I'm also reading the way that this nervous system in particular is using these specific words. So I know what the word loser means on its own, like stripped down, no human, no nervous system, no context tied to it. But now there's context and a nervous system. There's a whole human being now tied to the way that they're using this word. And sometimes I feel like I can hear the not the vibration, but like the current underneath. They might say out loud, I'm fine. How many of us have experienced that? I'm fine. I'm fine. But you know that they're not fine because you're hearing the words now attached to a specific nervous system, tone, body language, the throat constrained, tightness around the shoulders. You feel me? Like is, but and I'm thinking, oh, but anybody can do that. You know how some people like they reduce tarot readers, oracle readers, like people who read cards, play with crystals and stuff. They're like, oh, anybody can do that. That's just psychology. And it's like, no, actually, not everybody can pattern read like that. Also, not everybody can read patterns responsibly. Not everybody can do that with care. Not everyone can hold a nervous system the way a tarot reader might be able to hold your nervous system. Fuck them cards for a second. It's the other nervous system in front of you that can contain that ocean inside of you that not a parent could, not a friend could. That's why you ended up at a motherfucking shop to begin with. Because you ain't had nobody else. And you're thinking, I'm crazy. Why the fuck am I here? But I feel like this is all I got left. Okay then. And most people are surprised and they're like, oh shit, well, I feel kind of welcome here. It wasn't so much the crystals or that carpet or the lighting. I mean, that had something to do with it. But it was the nervous system that greeted you, that was able to hold you for 2 fucking seconds without you having to explain yourself or over explain so much. They just kind of understood it. And it wasn't magic, it wasn't necessarily this mysticism. It's our animal instinct. And some people are able to refine that in a way that feels spiritual. And I'm not going to argue those words either because I use those words all the time. It feels poetic, it feels spiritual, it feels miraculous because I don't want to take the magic out of life. I'm just trying to ground myself a bit. But I'm not trying to take out the magic like that or eliminate those words entirely because some things I know exactly how they work and I still say, how fucking miraculous is that? I was in the kitchen the other day. I'm itching my legs, scratching because we went a few days with no mosquitoes. Right? And then they came back and I was like, God damn. But then something inside told me, for whatever goofy reason, something was like, but how amazing is it that you're this alive, this receptive to be able to feel even this itchy, to be able to itch and then be able to scratch yourself or relieve it. And it's, I don't know, little things like that just kind of sit with me and I'm like, that in itself is a little baby miracle. And even though I can explain certain things, I'm like, I don't want to understand all the way why it still feels spiritual. I don't know why. I don't know why it feels bigger than me. I just know that it's bigger than me and I'm okay with that, or I'm starting to be. I'm having moments where I'm like alone and I can kind of self generate that little bit of joy. And it's not consistent yet. It's not all the time, but I'm realizing it exists. I can hold it in my body. I can speak it from my throat. And it again, I'm not joyful. I'm not a joyful, cheerful, optimistic person. I'm not. Just yesterday, last night, I'm fucking sobbing, crying, praying to nobody. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can make it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. And I don't know. I feel like pulling a card. I feel like pulling a card, damn it. So I'm going to, from my Wisdom of the Oracle deck, the one that I've been using lately. Just the one card, a little baby card. So you know what we're going to do? I'm going to ask this deck today. What does our inner child want us to know? What does our heart want us to know? And when I say heart, I mean inner child. So how would they translate everything that I've been talking about today? Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. I'm going to put this motherfucker down. Okay. So let's see. What does our inner child want us to know? Just the one card, Spirit, please. Just the one. Just the one. Do you ever feel like some days your decks are a little more charged, a little more active than other days? Like they do speak. And I did talk about this briefly before, but Like ducks have personalities, and I don't know, they really do. Like they talk, they communicate. Um, I also believe in physics too. Like sometimes there's a certain card that you touched more, or so that one might fly out more easily, or like you flip to a certain page because you've turned to that page often. So again, I do believe in physics, but again, I'm like, but I also believe in synchronicities. I'm like, there's still a magic to that. That today I chose this, and this is the thing that flew out. Loyal heart, 35. That's a number 8. Look how pretty. I love the owls. Loyal heart. Why don't we take a look at that? I have ants on me. So that's a really pretty card. It reminds me of the soulmate card, but the soulmate card has penguins on it, and this one has owls. So 2 owls. Definitely looks like a king and a queen there. Divine masculine, divine feminine. There's a face there in the middle too, but I know I won't be able to show it. So let's go ahead and read it. Okay. I don't know if I want to hold on. 35. 3 and a 5. 3 expression, 5 transition, change, 8 abundance. Some kind of abundance. Let me see. I'm still playing. I'm still learning the numbers. My thing is more dreams. That's more my forte. That's more terra firma for me. So let's see. Fidelity, loyalty, devotion. Let's see. We'll do the oracle message. So evidence of loyalty will appear in your life. Others will prove they are faithful to you, and you will in turn commit fully to them. There is a sure and abiding certainty in your heart. Know that spirit is always loyal to you. No matter the outer circumstances in your life, trust and have faith, for you are eternally loved, always divinely protected, and divinely directed. And I think I feel like I need to read the prosperity message. So, your long term loyalty to your goals is becoming evident in the world of conditions, where your aspirations for success assume form in reality. Success is finally taking shape if you are loyal to your dreams, faithful to your plans, while remaining flexible and devoted to serving others. You will be shown proof of your true prosperity. This is a time for a joyful celebration of spirit. Your manifesting partner. I love that spirit is your manifesting partner. I love that. Oh my God. Fuck it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of it. I'm going to do the relationship message too, because that doesn't always necessarily mean relationship like with somebody else. It could just be in relationship with yourself, relationship with spirit. So your partnerships, friendships, and romantic relationships. See, I like that this one covered all of them. All have many qualities in common right now. Honest devotion, faithfulness, and a loyal heart are being shown to you. Are you as loyal in return? Now is the time for heartfelt commitments and trusting in divine protection. Remember, this is all from the inner child. This is our heart telling us this. And didn't I ask that? Didn't I say, what does our heart have to tell us today? And it's literally loyal heart. I love that. Oh my God. Sorry. Okay. So then the last one is the protection message. And I think this one's also important. Are you stubborn or overly tenacious about an idea? Or have you become so attached to something that you just don't know how to let it go? Could it be that it's become so much a part of you that you wouldn't know who you are without it? I'm going to read that one more time because I read that kind of choppy and I know the meaning, but sorry. So could it be that it's become so much of a part of you that you wouldn't know who you are without it, with your idea or your belief? Ooh. Now is the time to look at outdated beliefs, old ideas, and misplaced loyalties. Betrayal is only a signal that it is time to prune away all who don't deserve your trust and have no place in your life. Be new, think new, and open your heart to new things. Let go of the old and all your attachments. Spirit has awesome plans for you. Make some room. Gotta get a little wiggle room. Make some wiggle room. You know how kids like to wiggle all the time? They're always doing something with their body. Wiggle. I don't know. I felt like I need to say that. So, any whats? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around. The rain is dying down quite a bit. I'm a little sad about that. But take what you will from this. Stay tuned, stay weird, stay safe. And I might see you next time. Bye.